Story. I have 3 children, and when I was pregnant with my 3rd child, my husband and I went to the doctor at 20 weeks, and we thought, you know what, this time maybe we'll find out what we're having, because we haven't done that before. And we got to the doctor's office, and the nurse comes in, and she looks very serious suddenly, and she runs out to get the doctor, and my husband and I are terrified, okay? These are the stories they don't talk to you about, okay? They don't tell you what's going on, you know? They want to decontextualize this experience. The doctor comes back to tell us that I actually have a pretty complicated pregnancy. It's called placenta previa. The baby will absolutely not be born naturally. In fact, back in the day when somebody had this kind of pregnancy, they either died or the child died because you will just continue to bleed. So I was put on bed rest my last trimester, and it was just like the doctor said. I suddenly had that rush to the hospital, kept me there for 3 days, let me come home. And that, I will tell you, it was on a Saturday, and I had gotten up from a nap, and I'd given my 2 children little snacks of fruit, and we're all sitting there laughing, and suddenly it happened. I was bleeding. My husband and I rushed out of to the hospital. Our neighbor ran over. Within a half an hour, I had to have an emergency C-section. I was terrified. I thought to myself, the 4 walls of this hospital may be the last thing I see. I will never see my children eating that snack again, or I will never see the child that I have been holding in my heart for the past 7 months, okay? And at that moment, if you had told me that there was some bill that was written by somebody that has no idea what's going on with me and my child and my doctor and my husband, I would have told you, you know where you can go, okay? This is a fundamental right that is a healthcare right, okay? And as Jess has said, if we chip away at this Supreme Court ruling, what other rules are we going to chip away at, okay? This is a healthcare decision. It is between a doctor and a woman, okay? These stories are real, and those kind of legislation have no business in the doctor's room. Thank you.
All right. This feels a little bit more natural, so I'll do this. I think it's very key for me to make this statement. Number one, as a man, I don't believe I have the ability to tell a woman what she can and can't do with her body. Number one, it's very key to understand that these are very sensitive matters. And because they're sensitive matters, the only people who can make this decision are a woman and her doctor, not these legislators in the ivory halls of our Capitol. Now, I want to let you know something. A black woman is 300 times more possible to die while giving birth or enduring pregnancy than a white woman is. And so I'm sorry, but Delegate Bob Thomas, with all your privileges, you do not have the ability or the place to tell a woman where she can and cannot do. I understand your personal story, and you're allowed to have your personal story, but you do not have the right to tell a woman what she can and cannot do to her body. And to say that the laws in Georgia and Alabama are not extreme is asinine. And I stand here to let you know that I'm going to take out Bob Thomas on November 5th to make sure that every woman in the Commonwealth of Virginia has the ability to protect her right and that she's protected. Somebody shout, hands off, Bob Thomas.